just have to move this around so I can kind of get comfortable. It's weird because you'll just like, you'll sit down and, well, for me, I know it's just that fucking aspartame and goddamn plastic. So I'll sit for a second and then my joint will start hurting so bad I have to move. So before I was like, okay, how am I going to sit today? How am I going to sit? So I got to get all situated. But that 55515 really works. Like my shoulder's really not hurting. And every time it starts to even start again, the CIA, they said, go in there and just keep going. 55515, 55515. And just keep focusing that number on repeat while you look at the area that is bothered and pain and stuff. I've started doing it all over the place. Got an itch, 55515. So the CIA says it worked. They've been studying our minds. You may as well follow what they got out of it. Like, you were a lab rat, get something out of it. Okay, so I got a bunch of different things. I just saw Duran here for a minute, following the malarkey. It was at some park downtown, and it was some guy in the bushes, and he wouldn't get out, and had to have the cops come, and they're out there. He just keeps on not wanting to get out of the bushes. I was like, but they just, him and his friends, his group. Oh, moving the thing. He's always talking to him and stuff. Like it's like they spend all their days together or something. So they'll be talking. Oh yeah, what about that yesterday? You know, I think it's really cute. It's really innovative. I mean, this guy has created something he likes to do and made it his job. And he's found a group that is all involved and interested in stuff. And when I was listening, I think last night I was watching a little to see what was going on in LA, but every place just seems super, super peaceful. I mean, I was seeing all these different lives, and it's just like walk around just like a super peaceful, no big deal. Big crowds coming out, no big deal. Fuck. I think it's just like, relax, don't pay attention, just relax. We got you over here. Watch this little box over here. We'll tell you what to worry about. Don't worry about a thing. Just what we tell you. And all your problems are way over there. They're way over there. And or it's Trump. Trump's your big problem, or there's problems over there. And so let's bring those problems home. Let's talk about what I see at home. So at some place, there's a couple of different news, and sometimes the news doesn't say here in Lexington, you know, they just tell the thing. And so I saw two different ones, and one was by New York. In New York, the ATF just happened to their whole entire building of chest safety. When you have people hit you hard in the chest, their whole protection, all of them have somehow someone just knew right where to go and steal them all. Okay. What did I say? I told you. I said, I bet you they are handing out the addresses to these motherfuckers who's got these things in their houses. I'm telling you. These people are shady. They are shysters. We are run by they're not government. They are fucking gangsters. They're fucking gangsters. They are that and that isn't what they're called all the way back. It's kind of like the Cassian family or something like that. That's why I always thought they were Italian. Because when I first started hearing about it, was the Cassian, I don't know, some of you guys might know the name better than me, the Cassian family, or something. It's the 13 original families, and they sound like gangsters. Well, they fucking are. Fucking gangsters. And they use violence to get what they want, and they enjoy violence. And so, okay, so that... And then somewhere where they just had a huge giant ass truck of dynamite. Let's just keep that out there with a little padlock. That's okay. Let's just go home and leave that there. And then come back in the morning. Well, what the hell happened? Where did all of our dynamite go? 400 pounds. So there's left 400 this and 400 that. And so I don't know if they're telling a number like the 4th is the day. Like, who knows? Because they've got a hidden language going. They're scripted. They talk to each other. And then these puppets I don't fucking think they know what the hell they're talking about. Just read the script, read that thing right there. Just read it. I think they may have they may have even taken some broken clones, just make them look good, and then just they can put a CGI over their face though. They could be all looking like behind the screen. Like, there's no telling. This fake ass world, there's no telling. You could fucking be having a dog sitting up there, and they're putting a CGI over it. And it's ridiculousness, and so there's a bunch of stuff that is out there. They're ready to blow some shit up. Ready to blow some shit up. And today there's a big thing about today. And today's my one daughter's birthday. And she's sick. So don't forget about that. And so I was like, well, just stay home. This is probably a good day to stay home because there's a lot of bad things I'm hearing about today and tomorrow and the next day. It's just like every day when we pass a date that another date pops up. But the whole thing is like, there goes my nose. Maybe it's attached to my talking. Maybe it heats up from the inside and the snot starts pouring. I don't know. So, okay. But the snot's going to start pouring. And it's fucking pouring outside. It's been pouring all goddamn night. So, here comes the allergies. Okay, so, let's see. So, there you've got stuff everywhere anyways. So, there's... all sorts of explosions going on over there. More nonsense. More and more, though. Like, I literally just saw a Christian lady. And she was very, like... And I know, what did I say fucking a couple weeks ago? When it just dropped a little bit on my mom. And so, this is a Christian woman. So, this is where you're going to start seeing fracturing. Who's paying attention and who's... the indoctrination levels. This is where the levels start splitting out. It's in all the groups, the LGBT, all the groups. And it's what you start awakening to, what you start seeing like, hey, wait a minute, I think we're being used over here. So it's like, wake up. So this lady, she was like, I'm really worried. I don't want to offend anybody. I know I'm going to offend some people. I'm really not trying to. I'm really concerned. Because, what I'm seeing, and I try to tell what she's seeing now about the blues, and she's trying to tell her mom, and her mom is just like, no, that's the Holy Land and stuff. It's like, yeah, but it just became a place in 1948. Wasn't even there before. So was it? Like, maybe they're kind of changing some facts here, Mom. But Mom's like, hell no. And Mom was probably alive when it was there, but that's how fucking severe their indoctrination is. Same with my mom. She's fucking 80, 1948. So it just became a place. There's shady shit. And then, there's just so much shady shit. And it's just them constantly covering their tracks and then throwing us off the tracks by distracting us and causing drama and getting us to fight with each other. And so it's just in these Mandela effects. It's probably because we all are living in different fucking realities. And everything was going at different paces. Like, you can fucking feel the paces changing. And also, so David, I talked a lot about, it's all on your levels of awakening. And don't forget, like, when I'm saying about me waking up way earlier, I don't want people to think like I'm trying to be like, I was awake before you. I woke up before you. That's not it. I had to go through a lot of shit. I had to get a brain injury. I had to lose all my stuff. I had, it was a lot. And so so I was seeing things way before other people. Like, it was very, very, isolated. Like, there was no outlets. There was no one to talk to. Like, the only person I literally had to talk to was my mom. And that was because she was so paranoid on the government, loved Trump so much that she was aware to that stuff, aware to the bullshit that was going on. She could see the corruption in the government, but she's hyper-focused on that. And, like, she doesn't want to see this stuff going down with the blues. And it's weird how they've got the Christians so convinced. And it's like, motherfuckers, they want you... But all of this is coming to the surface. Like, it's got these Muslim leaders coming out like, we want all the Christians and all the Jews dead. And it's like, these battles have been going on way before us. This is way beyond our time. This has nothing to do with us. Keep us out of your problems. Get your own shit handled. This is like a fucking angry motherfucker storming through your house every day. It's like, fuck off, you guys. You got your problems. Go deal with them. And, I'm glad that a lot of the people who are so progressive and so out there are going to, the SJW movement that's a created program. And all those people are, so many of them are, so many program people are progressive. But the programming on the conservatives has so much to do with religion and control. Like, everybody's got programming. So it's all programming of control. And they've got control right up in here. And so what was I going to say? Because something with my mom. Now I'm bouncing around. Sometimes it's like I'll be saying something and it just all of a sudden it's like a explosion goes, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, where am I? Now my nose is so stopped up. I need to blow it, man. God. So, I have, swear to God, I feel like fucking worm wiggling around in here all the time. I was just like, come on, get out of here. There's fucking spiders in the ears, the fucking worms in the nose. It's like, oh my God, and I'm not even real, of a goddamn hologram, and they just get in your fucking head, and they think, oh my God, this is crazy. But then also, there is something changing about this, I don't know, there is things changing in my physical. I'm telling you, I know I say something about this peeing thing, but it's fucking weird. And it just gets weirder. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not going to need to eat or pee or any. I think I got to keep peeing because I keep drinking. And I eat, but not, I don't know. Something's weird. Something's weird. That's all I can say. Just all the things that just keep changing. They're weird. Okay, so, oh yeah, now I remember. So, I didn't really have anybody else to talk to except for my mom. But so I had that outlet. And she wouldn't know shit I would be talking about. And still, so many things we talked about for years. And I say stuff, and so, I mean, it was very much, because I know a lot of people are having this, and it is so, it's like you're trying to talk to somebody and there's a screen in between and they just don't get it. There's a language barrier, and it's the shift in consciousness. And as you shift in consciousness and you break out of theirs, they're still there. They're still there, and everything you do and say, they put it through that lens. And so you're on two different worlds. You're two different conversations. It's two different experiences. Totally. It's weird. And when it very first started happening, now I've seen it. Now I've been watching it a while. But when I very first started happening, I was on here. I was talking about it because I was really started seeing. Because, when I had moved here, I didn't really know anybody. And then, and I tried to get involved and stuff, and then everything went down, and then I started seeing, like, how people behaved, and then I was just like, and then anybody I tried to talk sense to, and then even the one person who, seemed to be aware of what was going on again was also another conservative, hyper-Christian who just was focused on the anti-government and just the violent, I mean, there was a lot of shit that beyond just like, let's have a food alliance and starve out the neighbors. There was also there was a lot of violence, a lot of violent talk. And I was just like, because one time I was invited over for a birthday, and her son was there, and I was just like, and she goes, oh, I'm sure you'll like talking to him, because everybody just thinks I'm such a conspiracy theorist weirdo. And so then we started talking to him, and was like, whoa, we're different levels. We're different levels. I was like, and I tried questioning, and it was just like, what? And I would look over, and I was like, nobody, this affects no one here? I was like, what the fuck? Just imagine, I mean, I'm sure that some people can imagine, a progressive to go into a house that is very much about like, we'll just walk up and shoot you in the hand. Like, when the shit goes down, if they even show a rainbow or something, you give any sign that you're not on their side, bye. I was like, ooh, that's not God's way. Like, I don't know who y'all are. Like, what? But then when I've heard these people saying this shit out of the Bible, reading these verses and stuff, is like, this is God's way. This is who you guys, what? What in the brain twist is going on with y'all? Like, fuck. It really gives you a creepy ass fucking view of people. But even your own mom. And it's like, Mom, God damn. Well, we're all sinners, so accept it. What do you think? You're better than a sinner? No, but I'm not going to sink into the low fucking form of it. God damn. Oh. So, okay, let's get back on track. Okay, so then, as things were progressing, and then these neighbors moved in, and I didn't really know them, and then I had these neighbors across the street, and they were like, what I could do. They were so fucking aggressive, and so loud and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And they would start trying to fight with me, and they were, they were like any neighborhood you would think these are the psycho neighbors. They'll go out and start yelling and cussing and fighting with people. I just moved in, and they're over there telling me they're going to kick my ass because my dog went in their yard. It's like, fuck, I haven't even met you yet. I was like, God damn, sorry. I clean up the poop. We are in the forest. I'm like, I'm sure something's pooping in your yard all day long, all night long. I was like, Jesus Christ, lose a fucking, like a fucking screw. But that is like, people are fucking cocked and loaded. They are not, but that is all in there. They're trigger happy. They are waiting on it, that is unhealed. And so, but I hadn't even put all that together yet. I was just like, and they were, but see, this is right when this, 2020. So when the T-Dog and the Dojo, when those two went to battle, that is when I started seeing. I started seeing. So what was that? That was bumpered up. Yeah, when you go back, that was backed right up into the sickness, wasn't it? So that was an inconvenience it was a convenience they were trying to use for them, but it turned into an inconvenience because it fucking sure showed me some shit. I'll tell you that. It was waking me the fuck up. It was all their shenanigans on the goddamn news and all their manipulation with the media and twisting people around and keeping people divided. But then they also, started seeing with the neighbors, what kind of shit they supported, where they wouldn't pay attention. And then when you would try and say stuff, because I was already watching, and so I was like already on his team. And then, I was very nervous in my family to say something because my family was so dead set progressive. Everybody's Democrat except my mom. And she's a super Christian. And then you have these other Christians, they're like, well, we're not like that because we are more liberal. Christians, there's just a vision in every goddamn thing. It's all levels. And everybody wants to fight about the level they're at. So I was seeing, this was a part of my awakening. This was a part of me seeing and understanding what was going on, because the people around me, how they would be acting. And so these people over here across the street, they were just wackadoos. They supported Joe. And so here I am, this quiet old lady who just sticks to herself and has her dog and walks around and cleans her yard, does a completely overhauled her whole entire house, changed the whole neighborhood. And I completely see how they're saying about where you go, where you're placed and stuff. How, because I had just gotten this message about how we're putting the light in, how much light it really brings to certain areas. And I did see that when I was here doing it and stuff. And other people start being like, well, I'm going to pay my house. Well, I'm going to do that. And, and everybody start getting into it. Is that kind of movement goes out, God, that looks good. I'm going to, upgrade ours, because people get in a slump. They just get down. They just feel like, look, and everything's a problem and everything's work and God. So when somebody else does something, it's like, God damn, you just fix that and look at it. It looks good. Let's go do ours. So it just starts a movement. So and I knew, there are some quiet neighbors, and I knew they really liked me, and we don't ever talk about that kind of stuff. But these other new ones, they were young, and they would invite me over. So now they're way more a part of the community. She's very in the community. And I was kicked off next door. I was like, everything was pushing me out of this community. And I could see it. I watched the signs. I've always watched the signs. And people that don't understand that don't understand it, because they're watching I don't know, watching people's faces to see people's reaction or something, but I'm always communication with the universe. So I'm watching what they're communicating to me. And so so when, and I could keep feeling this community, man, I can't, there's so many things I could explain about this. Because this is, I've seen, I can feel, I can sense where I'm not supposed to. It's like knowing where you're a season, knowing what the relationship is being aware. And this has caused me great confusion. And I've talked about it a lot. Like, there's a lot of confusion. But that, I think, is a big part of my lessons, is just this constant, just relax, just relax. We got you. We'll show you. Don't worry. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So it's like, okay. So I don't know. I just got to keep trusting, but, you can't attach to things. You can't just attach to, like, my life will fall apart if I don't have my house, because believe me, I've fucking lost some. And yeah, it was like I went through years of having things ripped away from me. But I'll tell you something trippy real quick about that, is my daughter, one of them that I was talking to the other day, which I started remembering more things that this other daughter was saying. I was like, man, I had a day that day. I'll tell you, it was a day. But you got to remember, it's the day for your healing. When you're getting a beat down, like if you're just feeling like, God damn, does anybody have any respect? Does anybody care about what I think? Does anybody see me? Like, am I a fucking shadow? Yeah, I'm a ghost. But, that's my karma, because I thought my mom was a ghost. But I did spend time trying to get to know her and talk to her. I fucking know a lot of shit about her life. I know about my grandparent. Like, I wanted to know stuff. And I mean, it would have been way more of people not telling me, because they, hidden truth about them shit. But no, my mom, I've always wanted to know stuff. And I just keep thinking, like, but I think that my kids just always got their view of me through their dads just nonstop talking shit on me. And that gave them, I was weak ass. I don't know. I mean, for them to not even know I've been spiritual, like for this one daughter to tell me I've never been spiritual, it's like, what were our books? What are you talking about? Well, I don't have to know all that stuff. It's like, well, you goddamn have an opinion about it, don't you? It's like, but all the things, it's like, I'm not going to fight with them. It's like, okay, whatever. But the things are, it's like, you see that you're unseen. And so that's a whole thing. But it's like, it's been my whole life. And that, I think, is a part of the frustration of this breaking free from censorship. This unseen. But I'll tell you one thing, is that they're pulling some shit. Their shenanigans never end. I don't know what's up with these motherfuckers. On TikTok, over here, I see them just flipping numbers back. But over on the TikTok, now suddenly I'm flooded. Like, I got 100 new followers, all men. And they just all want to talk to me, like fucking insane. And they're going into my comments. They all want to talk to me. They're fucking DMing me and shit. It was like, okay, what is this fucking, bot army that you just sent on me to get in my fucking thing? Start reporting me, trying to distract me and stuff. Fuck off. I'm not that easy. I'm not that easy. I got nothing to say to them. And it's just, you can see their shenanigans. You can see their bullshit. It's just like, God damn. And I'm sure it works on some, because I see these girls all day long. Oh, you guys, and talking to these people. I even went in to see, like, how many of these are real people? And there's some that look like it would be a real account. I mean, but they can go extreme. So, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, I don't know. So, anyways, so, but back then, so when I was waking up, so we had the sickness. So I was seeing everybody's attitude about that. And I was just like, this is wacky. Even when you say you're a nurse, people are just like, nope. They don't give a shit what you say. If you go against what the narrative was, then you obviously aren't really a nurse. You obviously don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so then, so I kept on just, all the people, I kept thinking, man, does anybody have critical thinking? This is so fucking weird. And then, and with my family, how everybody turned against me when I started saying stuff. But I wasn't like around other people. I was way more, just like, yeah, I support that guy. And then I would try and tell anybody, because some people would always be, because I'm in Washington State, keep in mind. So everybody's fucking over here on the west side is like progressive world. And but I would see Trump flags and shit. But it would be like, it's like the opposite here of how it is in some places. It's because this is very much like when I was at the eye doctor and I was with my daughter and we were in, and this was during all of this stuff was going on, and it was right before quarantine because this was before my surgery. So this is a couple weeks before my eye surgery. My eye surgery I got, and I think it was 1 week later, everything shut down. So I could never get back in and get rechecked or anything. And they were, it's some bullshit. It's all bullshit. But so I've gone natural on my eyes anyways. And they've gotten better. I'm so glad I stopped doing their treatments, stopped using their drops, and just started focusing on my health. But okay, so, but we were in there, and this old man was in there, and he was decked out in Trump. And you know, and so my daughter, she's just thinking this guy is going to probably just start pulling out a weapon and shoot, because that's how the progressive people look at him. Like, they're all extremists. They're all crazy people because they're so convinced by their media, Huffington Post, The Guardian, I think, and shit. I've got a bunch. And so people who think they're real well read in politics and government, but it's a very restricted view. And it's always trying to create division. And so there's always a blaming in the political arena, you know. It's the other people's fault. It's other people's fault. You're not happy, it's their fault. Let's all gang up on them. I mean, even these fucking whack-ass politicians are like, go jump on them, go fight them, go take them down. Like, they're just whacked. And they're not hiding how wacky they are. And so So anyways, but I kept seeing like people weren't using critical thinking and stuff. And I was like, God, this is weird. And then that was more further on, but it was when I was still on Nextdoor, because I didn't get kicked off there until I started saying, you know, that about the brown shirts and stuff and what I saw going on. If I went back to the footage, I don't know, I would say probably the beginning of 2021 sometime. No, because 2021 is when I started this. So I don't know, probably in the middle or end of 2021 is when I got kicked off Nextdoor, which just gave me more isolation. So it was very isolated. And I'm over here where it's not like you can just drive. It's not like I can just drive. Like, my closest people now are the girls that moved to Central Washington. And so that's like about 4 hours or it's about 4 hours, like right in there. And it's an intense fucking drive. You got to drive through Seattle traffic, and then you got to get over the pass. So it's intense. It's not like just, you know, oh, Sunday, let's just drive over and see the kids. It's like, it's a plan, and you spend the night when you get there. And right now the weather's so bad. It's like the pass, it was like we were put in isolation. I don't know what the pass is like. I'm sure there's people going. It's not like nobody's driving it, but it's like, fuck. If you don't have somewhere you really got to be, it's like, fuck, I mean, everybody who I knew who was over here on this side, because I have a stepsister who's over on the other side of Seattle, and then my daughter who was over here, but she left a few years ago, and she was over here for college. But and they would never come over unless it was summertime, and so now I see why. It's just like, fuck, it's just like, why put yourself through? It's just a fucking hard-ass drive to go over the passes in bad weather. And it's intense, man. It's like fucking it's intense. So, but when it's summertime and it's nice out, you got your music on, and you're just whipping around, you just focus. But when it's weather, And you got to be paying attention to what everybody's doing. And it's just insane. It's insane. So anyways, the get back to keep going off from the neighbor thing. So, but one of the things I was seeing was, because it got so weird with this neighbor. So, uh, for one thing, when I would say something on next door, because I was bringing a different attitude than what was acceptable on there, apparently. Because I ruffled too many feathers, because Ted Royal, I don't know why this guy wanted to police me and argue with me. And I'm not going to fucking say something to, no, I'm going to say what I fucking think. And so obviously I was being watched, because then it started sliding into conversations that was kind of, it wasn't pinpointed towards me, but it would be like this overall, like, man, I just can't stand seeing some of these conversations on next door. It's really embarrassing how some people act. But it was all aimed towards me. She was on the side of the other guy. And so then I just kept seeing more and more. And so then that I said who I was going to vote for and shit. Then it was like, they thought I was so weird. And what was really getting me is that the people across the street who are so violent and stuff and aggressive, and that they are in support of the same. So you two guys are supporting the same people. And I was like, but I was the one who somehow was the weird, strange one. It was like, it was weird because they kept seeing me as being super aggressive. And it's like, how are you not putting this together? Like, it was tripping me out. And so I kept being, okay, something's wrong here. Something's wrong. Like, people are not thinking right. What is going on? And so all these were happening. All these things were happening at the same time. Like, all these pieces were going together for me during this time. And so I started seeing, it was really strange because nothing was congruent. And everybody was just off. Nobody was making sense. People, I mean, like, you could be sitting here, like, they could be having their own foot in their mouth and not even notice. It was strange. And so I kept thinking, this is so fucking weird. And then there was another fight with a neighbor, because we used to have our gates open and Stella would just go over there and walk around and shoot. And that's why I think why she's having such a hard time too, because she's not ever allowed to go in there. I mean, they've let her come in, but she used to freely range in there. And then they closed her out and left her isolated. And then Winston died, and then Trixie came for a little while, but Trixie left. But she's she's sad. But anyways, so she used to go over there, but they kept leaving their gate open. And it's like, I don't want my dog out. So I would close the middle gate. And so then she would get super offended that I closed the middle gate. And then I would say, well, your gate was open. And she would tell me it wasn't. And I would say, yeah, it was. I could see, it was like I could see perfectly from my couch. If I look out the window, I could see their gate, and it was hanging open. And so I kept thinking, well, that's weird. Are they just not paying attention? Do they just not care? Is it because they don't let their dogs out all the time? Because Stella likes to go outside all the time. She always wants to be outside walking around or laying on the porch. And so or sitting here whining at me. No, right now she's sleeping. She's been a really good girl. So, but I was just like, maybe they just aren't thinking about it because they don't let their dogs out all the time. So I'll just close mine, and then when theirs is shut, I'll just open it. I'm not thinking any big deal about it, but it turned into this huge fucking thing. And even during this, I had seen her dogs out running down the road, and I messaged her. I said, your dogs are out. And she told me I was lying, and that they were sitting there perfectly fine. I was like, did you look when I did the message? I was like, what is going on in this world? And it was like, fuck, I said that a half hour ago. They were down the road. Nope, I was making this up. And I was making up the gate was open. And so, and in my head, it was weird, because this is where I started seeing, like, oh my God, I can hear people. I hear what they're saying without what they're saying with their words. All of a sudden, I started being able to hear what they were saying, and it didn't match their words. And so I started hearing, like, the underwritten message or something, like what they really meant. And she just kept thinking I was this liar and about everything. She just looked at me like I was a liar. I like Trump. I was just a weirdo, racist, liar, violent person and stuff. And I argue with people. I don't get along in the community. I'm kicked off next door. But she wanted me to babysit the kids. And then her husband, because he was helping me with something. I would pay him when, like, I was just like, here, help me do this, help me do that. No, if he did something for me, I would pay him. I think he was helping with the washing machine or something, and he had picked it up and was bringing it, and so he was putting that in or something. She came to talk to him or something, and she was acting so weird. She'd been acting so weird towards me, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was, and but I kept seeing these weird things. It was like, because I was already leaving that reality. I was already stepping out of it. I wasn't playing along anymore. There's really an awareness that changes. But I hadn't realized what was going on at that point. I was just like confused. But then I was like noticing things like I could hear, because then she came over and she said it out loud. And then I was like, I was so excited. Like, I was so excited that she said, because I was like, I knew it. I knew it. But she wasn't saying that. She kept saying these other roundabout kinds of things. But I knew what she was saying. And so finally, when she just said it, and then that started a whole thing, because I was like, why in the hell, if you think I'm this racist, lying person, why are you having me watch your kids? Makes no sense. And so it was a big fight. She went over and she it was this giant thing. She wired the fence shut and quit talking to me. None of them would talk to me. And her kids nobody would talk to me anymore. But I just went about my business, and they became really good friends with some other neighbors. And they were always out there, always sitting, their fire pits right outside my window. And they were always sitting out there with their friends. And I was always just sitting here by myself, me and Stella. And that's when I would go, like, I'd go get a beer and a joint, sit out and watch the sunset by myself and stuff. It was like, it was just more and more isolation. And my family's turned against me. And then the point is like, no, you can't come at Christmas. You're not allowed, because you could get sick and die. What in the wackadoo world is this fucking bullshit? I was very much going through that, and so I was very isolated, and it was in this space of like confusion over all these people. And that's when when the gate was a big one to me, is because she kept not seeing her gate open, and I could see it was open clearly. Finally, one day, she did say that her camera was broken. She couldn't see the gate the way it was angled, and then they moved it. So she wouldn't say, oh, you were right, or anything like that. It still keep the same attitude towards me. But it was, I had to see it. But then once they started telling me, that's when I started understanding it was the awareness, and the awareness and the consciousness, and how it was being controlled and stuff like that. And so it kind of changed my outlook. Like I said, I've always got these people. Like, when people are weird, I've at least got these ones back here. And so these ones they know more. They know way more than the ones who are out here running around in front of me. And so the big thing that I kept getting, that they would always be, for they know not what they do. For they know not what they do. For they know not what they do. They really don't know. They are clueless. And it's so pointless to try and talk to them or explain things to them, because they're not receptive, because they're so trapped in the matrix programming thought. And so it's just this very controlled thought. And anything that tries to break it, it just like confuses them. And then with the rudeness and stuff, what broke it with this one's, where they started talking to me again, was because these other ones were over here being saying they were going to kick my ass and stuff again, because Trixie, my daughter's dog, had jumped over the gate. She's like a fucking golden doodle. Ooh, scary. She jumped over the gate, is out bouncing around, barking, because she's such an anxiety-ridden dog. Everything scares her, so she's out there barking at this dog. And they're not, you try and get close to a golden doodle, you don't know. They're like a fucking rabbit. They run from you. They're going to go charging you. They're scared of everything. Well, the ones I have seen, I've seen a lot. You can't just lump them all together. It's all varying degrees of their DNA and stuff like that. But they're definitely not aggressive dogs. And but those people, they look for any reason to start a fight or fight with somebody. But they're out there saying they're going to kick my ass and stuff. And this was even right before the shootout that happened over on the other block, because the cop that came out over this fight, he kept acting like, I'm just a nut. It was me. Probably because I was already on the list, because the Secret Service had already come out. And so I was already, it was like, here's your problem person. And so I've been just in this isolation in this community this whole time since the start of this shit. And when that cop, I thought it was, karmic justice, because his attitude and how he was just like, these are just regular people, so big deal. And I was like, you don't understand. These people out here are crazy. They got fucking guns. They want to solve everything with their gun. I said, it's crazy out here. And he's just like, thought I was a nut, goes over, talks to them, brings me back their information. And then they send me a ticket. And so then what, a couple weeks later, there is a shootout over there, and he's the cop that went over there, and then he's trying to stop it. He gets blasted in the face. And I had heard before he was blind, and he wasn't, he had to leave being a cop. So I don't know. I don't know if he got better. I don't know what happened. For all I know, he died. I don't know. But I don't think he died, but I don't know. But I was just like, I told you, dude. I told you. He wouldn't listen to me. I guess you have to learn the hard way. But anyways, I was aware of it. Like, these people are reactive. They're trigger happy. They're tense and built up anger. They are. And it was just so weird how I was being lumped as the one who was weird just because I put out an American flag and said I supported Trump. I was like, this is weird. And, because you would think you would see the person. You would think, like I did with that one lady who was always out. She was foraging, always talking about nature and natural stuff. She's the shaman lady. And I would see her post when I used to be on Nextdoor, and that she supported Trump. That really, that got me thinking. It didn't turn me against her. It got my mind churning. It got me starting to think. It started opening my mind, like, that's weird. What's going on here? And so, but a lot of people, they don't do that. It's like they don't open their mind. They go the other direction. And I don't know, that's something, you got to catch that for yourself. You got to figure that shit out for yourself. And this is why you got to catch yourself. Notice your trigger. Notice what gets you going. Notice all that stuff. And so, and then they start talking to me again. But it's very just neighbor, oh, my mail's out. Could you get that? I'm not going to, stuff like that. Oh, could you grab that package and put on my thing? Oh, would you mind doing, just neighborly stuff. And so we have a good relationship with that. Whereas I didn't even know if it would ever be mended before, if it was ever going to be fixed. And then when my daughter was staying here, the one who just, I can't say one doesn't look at me with any, I would say it's just a general overhaul, a general overview. That mom is just, I don't know, looked down upon. And so when she was staying here, it has added more to the incongruent, like, I was just tripping me out how people were. This is when she was going on TikTok, and she was becoming spiritual TikTok, and then she was telling me, like, I didn't know what I was talking about. David Rodriguez was on, I was watching him at the time. And that's back when all the things would be live all the time. And I had David Rodriguez on, and one of them was it? No, I'm positive it was David Rodriguez. But no, because I'm sure there was Zeducation on before too. And so I'm pretty sure I had two different people who had like a red hat on when she came through the room, and it was like she ran from the room like it was crazy. I noticed that, and I was like, okay, this is weird. This is super extreme. Like, what the hell is going on with people? Like, this is so weird because they had started the program, the TDS program, and so I was just I didn't know until you see it. Once you see it, and it's like whacked. And then, so within her and the neighbor just kind of went against me. And we're just talking about, I was abusive. I was weird. I'm always out looking at the sky. I'm always trying to look at something, like just nonstop talking smack on me. And then I thought, well, that's kind of shitty to do. Go to someone else's house and then go talk to their neighbor and talk shit on them. But I was like, whatever, like, that's a different vibration for me. I don't know, you do you. And so everything, it was just like, God damn, am I just separating? Like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? And it's just like the whole through the awakening is just so much of this realization of this world that we've been in and what they've done to people and how they have people trapped and why this awakening is so why it's a thing. And Roseanne, she had also put a message about and she had said one about everything that was our last, everything was changing. And now, which when these dates and these changes and stuff come, just keep in mind, there can be changes happening that are being hidden from us that we don't know about. Yeah, because the media is being manipulated, but they let this manipulation show so that for one thing it wakes people up, but for another thing that they can go in and see who the manipulator is, because that's how they take them all down. They have to let them show themselves, and the more that they take down, then the more that other ones have to show themselves. So it's just this constant taking down. So when things seem like they're going slow, just remember it's not going slow. It's just a lot, and it's constant. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of parts moving and a lot of ticking going on. And so, but she also said that a lie that's been told to us for 2,000 years or 4,000 years or something is going to be exposed, can change everything. And it's weird because she's blue. And I think what I keep seeing coming, it just seems like it's just coming at us fast like a locomotive, is what we consider to be called black people, what they called black people. So not just people who are other tribes and really super dark, but just this certain tribe, which it seems like to me it is a lot of Africans, but I think that they're spread out in a lot of different places, because I think they were down here, the Aborigines. I think that there's a certain ones that those are the original people. Those are the true, I don't know what there's something about Hebrew and stuff, but all their religion stuff, I don't know, but something that goes back to the original people. So the original people. And I just saw a guy doing this breakdown on Curious George. And, like, I don't know. I mean, they are always putting it in people's faces and stuff. That guy just went to the jungle and got himself a monkey, brought it home. And I don't know. I mean, watching old stuff, you really do get a different view of things, I'm telling you. So the, okay, so the, okay, so this whole thing, like, about this place, this holy land that just, became a holy land a few years ago. Like, there's just a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff about land, people, tribes, all this stuff. But it is going to be coming out now. And this is the thing. Yesterday, this was like shown. Somebody said something, and this is how they showed me to explain it. And so think of it like a wedding cake. And so you're the first tier. And that tier is what, I see like Halloween, all these people just walking around, just, I mean, people get all dressed up. They want to be the best. They want to look good. They want to have the best costume. They want people to like them. They want to like, and people are trying to make themselves feel good right now. People are real beat down, and people are just real trapped in that in that different state of consciousness. And so that's what, they just become like the cattle. They call them so many things, the chattel, the cattle, the sheep, the groom, however that fucking guy, the groom, they say it so like, the groom, like it's real, it makes them sound like they look at us like garbage, like garbage people, like, they really don't like us. And but the original people, then there was more manipulation and stuff. But there's been other people that have come. There's been more manipulation at different times and stuff because there's different ages. And at the end of an age, it clears. It clears. It's set for the next story. So the next age is like the next learning thing. It's like, get your tickets while they're hot. We're starting the new age. Figure out your new lives. You're going to come in here and, create. And so it's like every reset is an ending and then a beginning. And that's why I keep saying it's like everybody's trying to put pieces together that don't go together. The piece that goes together is much bigger, but you got to step a lot further out. And I think that is like what's going on. So like you have the wedding cake, and so the first tier has no, they're just it's like the fucking hamster wheel, and they have no awareness of what's above them, and everything above them is controlled. And so the second tier, that's the ones in control. That is the Bilderberg, the Rockefeller, all those ones. And it's kind of like the pedestals that hold the tier up. That's like, the Soros, the Clinton, the, Obama, they're the people on horseback, the people who, they're henchmen. And they have the henchmen, and then they have the knee breakers. They have they have all different levels. And but don't get me wrong. I mean, Soros was some fucking street urchin. They get handed things. He got his stuff from stealing. Then they get handed fortunes to do bad stuff by these people. And so, he's just one of there's all these pedestals that hold this tier up. So the second tier is the ones that are in control. And the lower tier has no idea about this, that these people are in control. These on the lower tier, they just think this is all we got going here. We're just living this and we're trying to get ahead. We're trying to get around. Where are we going? They're just focused on their tier. And so this tier, though, it has a view of that tier. This view looks down on that tier. This one is in control of this one down here. So the second tier is in control of the first tier without the first tier even having an awareness of the second tier. That is a part of the awakening, when you start having the awareness, when you start, paying attention, you start looking around. And so the second tier has that control. But see, that is why they've been taking down the legs of the tier. Like, we're so far into this. Like, there's so many of these people who are already gone. And, we're at the end of this whole this whole operation. And it even has a name, somebody said the other day. I can't remember what it was. And she was saying it's called Operation something. I don't know. We'll see how everything, when they start telling us shit, it's just like whatever they tell us or whatever they don't tell us, I don't give a fuck at this point. Just leave me the fuck alone. Just give me my money. Let me go have my house. Let me go live my life, and leave me alone. And so I want nothing to do with the government or any of like, it's just time for us to break free. It's like time to move out. It's time to get together. You know what I mean? And so, but there's going to be such a process to this, There's going to be some people, it's going to be super hard. And so there has to be this energy, that energy has to be there to pull the other energy forward. So, the pedestal things, they're being taken down, and that drops the tier down. And for some of us, I guess we're the ones in the middle, because it fell right on top of us, and we started seeing like what was going on and started paying attention and started looking into things. So as people were waking up, they became aware of the second tier. But the thing is that there's a third tier. There's a third tier up there, and that is the galactic tier. And that's the one that the second tier tries to interfere. They try and to corrupt the communication. Because you got fucking aliens trying to talk to you and shit. What do you call aliens? What they told you to call aliens. They're other spirits. You got them trying to talk to you. But they, they're the interference, the second tier. They interfere through frequency, through doubt, through control, through media, all sorts of ways. And so, but the spirit of being strong-willed and believing in itself needs to break free. And that, that's why I say, like, the weak-minded, and then you've got to see, like, you've got to see, you've got to notice, you've got, it's all about this awareness. And nobody can get you to be aware. Nobody can talk you into it. You can take the horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink. There's nothing you could do. Everybody has to do it on their own time. And that's why, as I have seen this coming, like we're going up to it so fast and shit, is this is what these people wanted. This is what they're holding out for. It wasn't for us to just say just the right thing to wake up. No, it's this impactful moment that's about to happen, because people are going to see such a shitty side of themselves. And that is what they're trying to heal. That's what you got to see. People, the souls, the people don't remember shit. They don't remember who the fuck they are. But the people, the souls came in to heal some shit. So this is going to be an impactful moment. It's going to bring up a lot of stuff. And it's going to be a lot safer place, because look at how many of us are who have awakened. Our part of awakening was different. We had to learn how to believe in ourselves, to trust ourselves, to understand, to use discernment. Like there was a lot of leveling up that we were doing. And so theirs is a different part, because remember, the universe wants all parts. And so when this goes, that is going to be a whole new wave. And it's going to be just as emotional as what we've all been going through. But we are going to be a lot softer and gentler to them. We're not going to be telling them they're crazy. And that's going to even hurt them more. Our niceness and our gentleness, they're not going to feel they deserve it. And it's going to hurt them more. But it's their stuff they have to purge out. And then you got to remember, some of us, like, you've got these past life relationship issues coming up. So your reactions and stuff to people have to do with deep-seated other problems that you've had in other lives that you don't even have the awareness of. So your reactions to different people, but you need to notice your reactions. You need to notice how you're feeling, because this isn't about you being right and them being wrong. This is about everybody's here to grow. And you're going to sit there and try and prove to somebody you're right and they're wrong, then you're not focusing on your growing. And that's where you got to go in and question yourself. Like, why am I doing that? What am I trying to get from them? What do I want? Why do I need them to believe why do I need them to see what I see? Don't think that, like, this wasn't easy. Like, this was a lot. This has been going on for years for me. And very isolated, very much, where I was constantly the odd man out, not supported and stuff. So, you have to just become stronger and stronger and stronger. And you have to just, I swear that mantra, for they know not what they do, has really helped me to not get really mad at people and stuff. Because, and remember, when you're getting mad, that is your emotions wanting to come up. Your soul came here. It's trying to release itself. It's trying to get you to focus on that stuff. So when you're getting upset with your neighbor, you're getting mad or getting a reaction, just take notice. Take notice of your reactions. Take notice of what it is that gets you to the reaction. What was it? It's always like reel back. Try and find your way back, so you can be like, what, all of a sudden, why was I thinking this? Why was I doing that? What did I think? And I kind of think it's important to just ask yourself, what do I want from them? What am I trying to get from them? Are you just trying to be right? And then you even got to think, like, why? Because really, their news is different. They are not seeing the same information as you. And it isn't like that they don't have abilities to think. It's weird. It's like they're all on this just, there's no problem. They're just on this auto thing. It's a program. They're just heavily programmed, and they're going to break this program, though. And it's going to be like, I think it's going to be crazy because we're seeing it from this side, but we're going to see it from the other side. And, I think it's going to be, it's for sure an intense one. But so in the tier system, though, so we have the third tier up here. And that to me is like the firmament is because these people who want to break the glass wall and stuff, I think they're the creators of the firmament due to the low vibration that it contained this space. I don't think it was always contained. And I think it used to be more open. I think that there was a lot more traffic. Aliens were coming in and out. Some were settling here. There was all sorts of tribes that would interact with people. Probably some of those tribes were from different ones. There could have been other scientists that came and brought their DNA and mixed it. Like there was a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of different tribes, and they hide the part that they're looking at. They just tell you the part, like whatever they're looking at for DNA. I think that they have a lot more, like they're trying to figure out some different stuff. Like they're looking at third tier. And that's the thing is there's a whole war going on third tier. And third tier has to do with this fucking religious war over here. It has to do with that shit. And so they are trying to drag us, the first tier, up here into their bullshit because they're fighting the third tier. The third tier is fighting the second tier to it's like take away this pain and suffering and control, really take us out of the firmament. That is what this battle for our souls is all about. And we, the citizens have no clue. It's all at different levels because they're all different levels of waking up. And there's a lot of people real focused on the skies. And I think it's kind of a mix. There's a lot of people who are kind of scared. And then real scared. And then you have other people who are kind of excited and, what's to come. But there's so much programming in the movies. And so it's a big thing to overcome, when they tell you these monsters are going to come and get you. And they're going to slaughter us all. They're going to shoot us from the skies and shit when they're they're using their own fucking shit and shooting us from the skies. And but the third tier is fighting with the second tier, and their fight goes all the way back. Like I said, there's been beings that have been coming and going, and I think that just became so contained and controlled, and they kept killing the beings that were here, slaughtering. That's why I said I think there's going to be like whole groups they're going to leave at once. And I think a lot of it is over like by where the Middle East, where you get all of the different colors of people because of what I've heard from like the secret space program guys and saying that on all these other all these other land masses, they always have called them planets. Just the land mass thing makes more sense to me in those maps and stuff, but it's like levels in water. And because it's atmospheric, but it is it's realms and stuff, it's realities and shit, and you have to raise your vibration to get to some of these. And so because that's how you travel around, is your vibration. And so but I think a lot of these big groups are going to go back home. I think like if they wipe out all of Syria, that is like a whole group going back home. And it trips me out, like when I see spiritual people losing their mind over death, even Christian people losing their mind over death. It's like, I don't get it. Do you really believe you're going home or what? Like, I think it's exciting when people get to go home. I was like, damn, God, you got out quick, didn't you? Even these ones that look like little kids, like, yeah, if you sit there and watch the traumatic movie play out, then it fucking tear your heart out, make you want to fucking vomit, make you want to go fucking kill yourself, and you get all caught up in the movie. But when you get out here in the spiritual thing, you realize, oh, wait, I'm watching a movie, okay. And you realize, oh, there's people who are playing it. We all hang out together up in this other world, and they're just out here performing. I'm watching a performance. And when they get to go out and they get to leave, they're only here for 5 years or something. It was like, damn. And my daughter was really upset because she was telling me yesterday about these horrible tragedies. And I said, yeah, it's really as sad, but I look at it as like, they're going home. I don't look at it as sad like that. I think that, we need to be a lot more celebratory about people leaving. And she's like, yeah, but it was little kids and stuff. I said, but little kids aren't really little kids. They aren't, like, that's what you think because you're like stuck in this 3D dimensional view of things. You're in the movie. The souls are fucking adult. Like, we're all souls. We're advanced. You can't say adults because it's not adults. It's your advancement is it's your intensity, it's your essence, it's your color, it's your brightness. Is the brightness of you. And, nobody wants to be just dull. We're out there in the heavens and somebody's over there dull. It's like, they're a little dull, aren't they? No, we're not that judgmental. People don't care. But it gives you freedom of moving. It's like that is your path to move around more freely, is your love for everybody. If you love everybody, then yeah, come on over. But anyways, out on all those other places that all the people are different shades of brown. Like, there's not white people. The only ones I've ever heard of that were white are the Pleiadians, which are mostly light, and the whites, which is a lot of these light beings that are, it's like you got to think of when you go up in vibration, because this is what's going on for us right now. And I think that's what I'm going through with my body, is it kind of me detaching from it. And, but when you get up into this higher states of consciousness in your vibration and stuff, it isn't, you know you're your light, but you can shine out in a form how you want to look. And so it is, that's why, like, the Palladians and stuff, like a lot of people think of like angels and stuff, but it's like the Palladians because they can switch forms really quick, of switching into being just their light form and then going in and becoming their person form. But I don't think it's like they have skin and it's white skin. It's I think it's more translucent. And the whites, I think they're more like albino. Like, I don't even know if they have skin, like what we think of as skin, or if they are just a shine too. Is like not the Anunnaki. I think the Anunnaki are like Vikings. I think the Anunnaki are going to be pretty good looking. I think, but who are those ones? And some, you got to remember, some of them all look just all different. I think that the Anunnaki, though, are going to look like these big, badass kind of... I think they're going to be big. I think they're probably like 9, 10, 12 feet. They're probably... and I just think they're big, like warriors. And so I don't know. Supposedly we're going to get to see them. I think we're going to get to see tons and tons. I think we're going to just be interacting with them. Is once this second tier goes down. And I think that is what Roseanne is talking about, that we're going to get to see. Because the third tier, the second and third tier are fighting. And and this is playing out right in front of us. This is an old war. And all these different beings have come here. And I think that the scientists here that are in this, I think they kept drawing the lines, they kept pushing, is that called pushing the lines? No, it's like pushing the, you know what I'm saying? Like pushing what was acceptable, pushing on ethics and stuff, medical ethics and stuff. They were always doing that, pushing. Like, well, if they're mentally ill, then it doesn't really matter. Well, if they're orphans, it doesn't really matter. Well, if they're retarded, it doesn't really matter. Like I could just cut your brain open and, what they're doing right now. I'm saying, people are brain dead because they're not talking and then just taking their organs out while they're alive and killing them, like that kind of situation. So it's always been this unethical push, and then what the people will accept. And it's always been what the people will accept, but that is part of what the universe wants to know and learn and understand. But each soul that plays the part has to go through the part they played to, it's like purging out your part. It's accepting your part and stuff. So, but everybody has parts to play. And okay, now wait a second. So so if you go back to the third tier, in the battle over here. So, okay, so yeah, but so these people, the Yahtzee people, the people who have been doing tests on us for a long ass time, and this isn't like what in the fuck, I just can't even get over how many of these old movies that I'll see. There's always mad scientists that are keeping people down in the basement and cutting them up and putting them together Frankenstein style. And then there's been all these other like rich people who have done that. And that lady like in New Orleans, there's been other people. There's been royal people. There's been a lot of people. And I don't know, they just hire these scientists to just, practice, just do weird shit to just try and see what happens. Like, it's weird. And, but you have this going on, like the one in New Orleans, she was taking slaves, and her thing is horrible. And weird how Nicolas Cage bought that house. But I think he's always trying to like mess around with a spirit. Like, he obviously knows it's a real thing. He's just trying to understand what it is or something. But fuck, don't go into places that are full of dark energy, I'll tell you. So, okay, so anyways, let me think. And who knows? Maybe the house had nothing. Maybe it was like, fuck. I'm way too tuned into that shit. I think I could hear him whining. I mean, and the ghost tours and stuff, people can hear him crying out. So, like, fuck, I don't know, way could I be in there. And so, okay. So, so the Yahtzees, though, this skin tone that is unnatural is that is them trying to do something. Like, there's something to their lab babies and shit, and they're trying to take this natural stuff in the blood because they're trying to make. And it's weird because like the big grays have the little grays. Like, some of these other beings have little android beings, so they were trying to make us into like little android beings. So it's kind of like take the melanin out and get us to fry our hair off, get us to not be able to reproduce, get us to not have any gender, any culture. It was like moving us into being their little droids. And I think that they tried, removing the melanin. That's what I think they're trying to do, is remove the melanin. Something, there's some kind of gene or something they're in there messing with. And so they're trying to do that to create their perfect little slaves, and mindless, because I think that they know that the melanin and all that stuff it's all their natural parts that connect them. And I think that it's kind of funny, it really gets me, is that like if we go out in the sun, how it triggers our melanin. It's like they keep failing. Like, they can't do it because God just always has it. And it's like, as the universe, but the universe it does have their back, but the universe is also sat back. Not just the universe, all the different beings that make up the universe, all the different beings that were coming here sat back to watch, because we had to come into our own. It is to keep these beings going, to keep humans going. We had to step in. We had to stop just going around like a mindless. We had to see, can the soul find itself? I think that's kind of what they're kind of watching, what they were watching. And so how developed could the consciousness become? And so, because it's got a lot of things going against it. You got your emotions, you got the storyline, and there's a lot. And so but this is what the ascension's all about, because we did do it. Where everybody's waking up, everybody's questioning reality. I was saying, no, that's not what I want. No, I'm not gonna live like that. No, I'm gonna live the way I want to live. And so everybody's waking up and making choices for themselves as a soul, becoming independent, sovereign as a being. And so that is what the ascension's all about. And then moving towards your soul self. Like, I don't get what so many people, they just think that you just say, oh, I'm spiritual. And the whole thing, like, I hear these people, I'm spiritual, but then they're like crying because someone died and stuff. It's like, what? And oh yeah, because in the conversation with my daughter, I was saying, I'm not saying like I'm heartless. I understand that there's people who are in pain about it. And I said, uh, but that's what it's for. It's for them to go through that experience. It's their experience. It's their journey and stuff. And I said, so I can have understanding. And then if somebody in my own family, if I have to experience the loss myself, then yeah, I'm going to have to experience the loss. That's what it's about. But when I just overall see people leaving and leaving and leaving, I'm not going to cry like this is the good place. What? Oh, damn it. Damn it, man. Why did you leave? I was like, fuck, I get out here as fast as I could. This is intense, man. Like, people think this is real life. It's like, no, we're in hell. We're in hell. We're all trying to get out of here. It's like you wake up and you find out, God damn, we woke up in hell. And it's like a game. Like, we came in here as a game. Can we get ourselves out? Because you get out no matter what when you die. That's the thing. Because even if you don't remember, you still get out. And so then you're like, when you get out, it's like, oh my God, can't believe I forgot. That's what I think people do. Like, I would know. Like, I know. I've come out of my body before. I had total awareness. It was like, oh my God, there's my body. And I sucked back in real quick. It was very strange. But, you know, I don't know. It's all about awareness and stuff. It's all about seeing. Like, all these people go to fucking church and worship. And they don't even think like what they're worshiping. They don't even think things through. They just do what they're told. And they're gotta get to heaven. It's like, yeah, because you're in hell. But they think there's a worse place than this. And they don't give a shit who goes there. They don't give a fuck. It's like, if you haven't said his name, bye. We said it. I was like, God, oh my God, this is so mental. Oh my God. Oh, this is so mental. So anyways, you got to not get caught up in, drama with people, and just keep reminding yourself, like, they really don't know. And don't stress out. They're going to wake up and it's going to be powerful, and they're going to do it on their time. And we're right here at this time. There's a whole thing about today. Like, if you go in and you hear all these breakdown things and stuff, and in all of these different signs, there was a bunch of stuff, like bunch of Q stuff, and that makes you think like shit is about to go. I don't remember, like Scavino's posting stuff, Trump assistant, like they all start doing it. It's like they all start chattering. Elon, I don't even know Joe Rogan's role. Like, there's some people saying he's total ops, yeah, or whatever, in double. Same with Alex Jones, but to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't watch all these people. I don't listen to them. I'm not invested. But I think there's a lot of people that just get super paranoid. It's like, so what if they are? It's like, go in and you can still go listen to their information and decide for yourself. You don't just decide on what they're saying, because if it is, you're being manipulated, you got to go out and look for more information. It's always this crossover. But also, I mean, they're putting, they're leaking out so much information to confuse you. So there's a lot of stuff to confuse you. And then they'll flood your thing with like a zillion guys that suddenly want to talk to you. And it's mental. They just want, I can't even tell you. Like, it's weird. Like, every time I go on, there's like 20 new followers. They're all, hi, what are you doing? What are you? Oh my God. It's annoying, because I know it's just TikTok shit. It's like, but I know we're close to the energy flipping. But it's very, it's part of my journey. It's a part of my story. Not being seen, not being heard, being misunderstood and stuff. And, I know that's a certain personality type that believes those things. But, and people will tell you, well, you're a certain personality type. That's why you think that. It's not true. But I think people are about to see that it was true. You didn't see me. You didn't know who I was. I mean, I think when people who know me understand what I've been doing here, I think they're going to see something that they didn't see. And I can try and point it out. I can try and show my kids. Like, I've showed her comments and stuff before. Like, I'm helping people. People come and say, like, how much they appreciate me or how much I've helped them with something. And, she'll be like, oh, that's so nice and stuff. But, and I saw this early on, because of when I very first started saying about I was supporting the other guy, then they which I was never going to support Joe. No way. I didn't even support Hillary. Like, I was like, no. Uh, then, when, okay, so when they, because the scene, wait a second. So, something in there of not being seen. And then it is just like not being seen, not being heard, not being understood. And, oh yeah, okay, so back, because it was like around, I don't know, like I'm having the Secret Service show up, I'm getting kicked off of every fucking social media, and my daughters were being hard on me. They were like, well, stop saying stuff. Like, everybody was turning on me. Like, I was just this wacky, brain damaged, mentally ill person who's out there just spreading weirdness everywhere, trying to, like I'm whacked out. And, because they don't understand me. Like, I mean, my daughter is sitting here telling me I never even know anything about spirituality, and she's the expert because she watched TikTok, and she was like, this world is fucking wacky, man. And so but in that time when I was saying about Trump and stuff, and they were thinking I was so crazy, and that I'm going on social media and saying all this stuff, and I'm just completely wacky, and they kind of are embarrassed, and not even gonna look or whatever. And so, because I've even said before, when they would say really rude shit about what I was doing, I would say, do you even go in and listen to anything I say? Even when my daughter would be telling me something, she'd come out and start lecturing me about something. I was like, I talk about this shit. Like, do you even have any idea what I talk about? No, nobody knows, and nobody fucking cares. And then, I should stop. I should stop talking, just like I should get rid of all my clothes. I should just, I should just cease to exist, unless it's like, give mom a call, I need to talk. It's like, otherwise, just sit here on a shelf waiting to be picked up by somebody. It's like, fuck. But I was told that, I should stop, and it was embarrassing and stuff. And I said, you just don't have any idea what I'm doing yet. You don't know what's happening yet. I said, at some point you'll be proud of me, because I think at some point they will. But it's my lessons. It's my view that I'm getting to see, how, it's my stuff. It's not anything about them. It's not about like them or whatever. I think it is going to hurt them. I think they're going to feel really bad when they wake up and see, how dismissive that they were of me, and not really seeing me. And, they've always seen me through some other lens. They see me through, I think some of them hold on to some lady that was like 20 years ago. No, more like 40 years ago. Because, no, fuck, when the kids were young, like, yeah, I was like, I don't know. They're holding on to somebody who's not here anymore. She left. I had to say goodbye to her. And, and she struggled. She had a hard time. She was very insecure. She let people push her around all the time. She didn't know who she was. And it's crazy, too, is because, I've been getting these other messages, and I'll share these because it's, to me, for my own journey, for my own story, it's been very profound, is because, out in the world, when I was that Kelly, and I was out there and trying to work and go and stuff, and I would have a lot of problems with people. And, boss women would fire me and stuff like that. And so I would be talking to my sister, and she would constantly be like, Kelly, you just don't get it. You don't understand how pretty you are. Girls don't like that. They'll turn on you. She said, you just don't get it. And I was like, I'm not pretty. Like, I'm sitting here around all these pretty girls, and you're trying to, like, whatever. And so I could never, like, understand. Like, I just kept thinking, okay, she just thinks that because she just wants to be pretty, and she's my sister or something, like, stuff. But now what is I'm seeing is it was my light. It was my light, because I was always different. It wasn't, my looks, I don't think. Everybody's going to be affected by different things and different people's looks. Like, and everybody you interact with, it has something to do with something. But it's part of your journey. It's part of your story. It's part of what you're supposed to be reacting to so you can understand yourself. And it is so, but now I'm seeing it as like, oh, it's because I was bringing light, and there were so many that were so uncomfortable. I made them uncomfortable. And then I think that the light shines out. That's what I think. I think if you are really focused on your light shines out. And that's why I always say people get too caught up in thinking like, well, if I fix my eyebrows, if I do my lashes, if I get a nose job and stuff, it's like, quit doing that. Just go with your overall. Just be focused on your internal, and then your light will shine through. And then the light will come out, and then everything will sparkle and go together. You don't need to, as what I used to do back when I was, there's a difference of focusing on inside and focusing outside. And when you're focused on the outside, you're focused on your insecurities. And that's why there's something about your physicality represents your insecurity. It represents what you need to work on. But then people want to change them, and they don't go into what it is that the insecurity is making them feel. Because you got to work on what you're feeling. And and don't forget, they still let you make mistakes. They'll still let you put these goddamn plastic things in your fucking chest. You get and now I've just got to come to terms. Like, I'm coming to terms with that goddamn med bed. That's what I'm coming to terms with. And now there's way more people talking about it too. In 30 years. So it's 30 years we get to turn the time back. I was like, hell yeah. I think, I swear to God, I said this a long while ago, but I swear to God, I think it's true. You can take a older person's brain and you put him in a younger person's body, you got a fucking superhero. Like, because how many times when you were through life, if I could have done that different and stuff like that. Now we get to do that. We get to go back and have this. I don't know. I think that it's going to be like a redo. Like, we get to go back with new, and having our bodies be fit and feeling good. And that's not to just go around like how these other people are like, I'm just going to ruin people because everybody wants me. I'm just going to ruin their lives. Like, what an attitude. Like, I don't know. Maybe they haven't lived one of those lives yet where they've actually gone and done it. Like, obviously I have, because that's the one that the psychic had told me about. And that's the one that I think I'm making up a lot of karma in this one, because I've fucked people over with my licks in the last one. And so it's not these people, just everything, they just think that they can just do whatever. It's like, you gotta look at life on a spiritual level. You gotta look at life on a deeper level. It's not just about what you have and what you look like and stuff like that. All that stuff doesn't matter. The only thing that matters about your looks, like I said, is what brings up in you, is what you're supposed to be healing. And then you let go of it, and it won't bother you anymore, whatever it is. Like, a lot of people get insecure about their noses, and then they want to change them, and that's quick, easy change too. Tons of people get nose jobs. But there's other things that you're supposed to be coming to terms with in yourself when you don't like your nose. And so those are the things you're supposed to work on, just like the boob thing. I wish I would have worked on my insecurities instead of trying to take the quick way out, because quick way out is bullshit. And so it would have been better for me just to get over it. Because now I look at these girls with flat chests that dead and go and do stuff like that. And I'm just like, God damn, I wish I would have been that secure. And so it's, it's all about the learning. It's all about your own transformation, your transformation to yourself. And so it's, and you got to have respect for everybody else's transformation to their best versions of themselves. And everybody gets to decide what that is for themselves. And okay, so let me think if there was anything else. I want to say something about this matcha, because my $28 matcha came yesterday. Tiny. It's so fucking, it's like 4 ounces, I think, maybe 2 ounces. It's really small. But it has some other things in it. So it's not even just matcha. It's got the ashwagandha. That's good for your mental health. And I've been drinking that every day. I'm telling you, I feel like fucking, it isn't like feeling speed, because I did speed before, like back in I've done a lot of drugs, and and that always just makes you feel like woo. And so in caffeine, I didn't ever have that same effect so much. But this, it makes you feel super awake like that, but not all jittery. But you feel super awake and super alert. It's so there is some things about this matcha. And so the one I had gotten the other day, where I got that whole big bag for like 15 bucks, and it smells like a plant. You open it, it's very green and rich, and it smells very plant-like, and it's organic supposedly, because they still have loopholes to get the poison in. And then the and then I have that ashwagandha too. And then in his also, he put the Ceylon cinnamon, which I have that, and I put that in my tea anyway. So I put all the same stuff in my tea. And so it's $28 for this little tiny one, but it came with this cool ass whisk. But I had to learn about the whisk, because if you put the water in high, it shoots it out everywhere. So you can only put a tiny bit of water in and whisk it, and it stirs it real good. And so that, to me, that was worth the 28 bucks. I probably am not going to stay on the thing, because I don't know. I want to support the guy if it's really his business and help him. But it seems like there's something that seems like it's bought out about it. So I don't know. I think that the package came from China. It came on, I don't know, when I was getting the postage thing sent. Because then you go and look, and it seems like the business is like Connecticut or something. There you go, Crystal. Hold on. Listen to the rain. Listen to the rain for a sec. Okay, so let me think. Okay, so the tea. And I keep putting the chaga in it. And the chaga, that was like 28 bucks. And I got that off Amazon. And that was like 28 bucks. And it is like really small too. So, I don't know if it really is more condensed. I drank a cup of it yesterday, just didn't put anything else, because my one that I make in the morning, I put the chaga, I put all sorts of shit. I'm telling you, I put like 20 things in it. And, but anyways, I'm glad I got the stir. But yeah, I don't know. So far in the comparison thing, the one I feel is like my best economically and seems to be just as good of quality is the one I got at the grocery outlet. But see, all that shit's going to be going away. We're going to be buying stuff from personal people or making shit ourselves, because I don't know. There's going to be things that are going to change. Like, I don't know how it's all going to go down. And it's so weird, because it can go at any moment, and it's going to change everything. Like, if shit goes down, bombs start going off, and they've got a shit ton of dynamite, and they've got fucking all these bulletproof vests, and they're ready. Like, they're ready. I don't even remember all the I mean, like, shit is about to go down. They've got all the bombies over here, and that's what they're going to blame it on. It's going to be a response because of what's going on over here. So it's going to be something that, because Americans don't really get that America is some bullshit. Fucking, we're horrible. We are the worst. And people run around like, we're so cool, we're so cool. It's like, no, we're not. We're horrible. We're absolutely horrible. A girl made a really good point the other day. She said, how many people you think in all these poor countries are having to pay all their taxes, and they're being told it's being sent over to America, and how much that they just don't like us? And because that is some bullshit, because look what they're doing to us. But all those people are super poor. Over here, they're just getting knocked down to find out what poorness is all about, because this is what they've done in all these different places, taking the lands away from the indigenous, and it's all about this land and control. But the second tier is going down. And the second tier is going down. That's going to open the firmament. That's going to open up our view. That's going to how we're going to see. That is what's going to bring in all of our knowledge, how we're going to understand who and what we are. We're all a bunch of fucking aliens and ghosts, and people are scared of them. They're scared of their own selves. It's like, you're not this human being person on this planet who just accidentally showed up out of fucking evolution or some bullshit. It's different. And so there's going to be, that kind of thing. And there are going to be so many people who are not going to be able to open their minds. There's people who are so fucking dead set Jesus is coming. And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But let's see, because I think the Ingersoll thing says something about 1116 or 1117 or something. The waters are going to come down out of the sky. We're going to be hit with a comet in the firmament. But they're battling up there, I'm telling you. And I think they're trying to put an atmosphere above, so put a secondary sky so we can't see all the things that are going on out there. But people are catching shit all the time. And there's a lot going on. And this could be something that's going to go on today, because they'll start doing this rain, and then all of a sudden it'll start storming, then all of a sudden it'll start sounding like there's thunder. But I've been saying this for a couple of years, this is not thunder, because they are fucking battling up there. You can hear it. And so, there's battles going on, and they're on the ground too. It's like Trump is all his soldier people, whatever, all the NSA, the white hat people, they work with the Galactic Federation. Even Trump said that the other day. He even said about the Galactic Federation. So they work together to take down the second tier. And so it's coming from both sides. Like, this is happening. Nobody needs to doubt if this, because something hasn't happened yet. Well, it's probably not going to. Everybody keeps saying it's going to. No, we are at the end of something. However it ends, nobody knows. We're waiting to see how it all ends. But it's their ending is our beginning. So we have to have them end. And, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to go with them, but it's their time out of the story. They came for that storyline. They completed their story. They're going home. And so, but it's going to seem traumatic. And you obviously have tons and tons of spiritual people out who are just as traumatized by death as everybody else. And so it's going to be very traumatic. There's going to be a lot of trauma, but those traumas are what leads them to understanding, to see, and it changes everything. So we got to go through all that stuff, but don't get caught up in your neighbor's drama. Don't get caught up in your family's drama and stuff. Just keep reminding yourself. They don't know what they do. They can't see. And the universe is going to accommodate that. And then their soul is going to be embarrassed and humiliated. But, when they get out of the game, it won't be. It's going to be just a part of their process, a part of getting to themselves, a part of finding themselves. And so but it's coming, man. I was trying to think if there was some more things, because I know Trump is coming out hard on the thing. I mean, he's dropping names like Galactic Federation, and he's saying about all sorts of stuff. Like, he's toying with them, and he's letting people know, because there's a lot of people who just doubt him. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, there's so many people who are still so anti him, and they're so outspoken about it. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys are about to be so embarrassed. I mean, they say such ignorant stuff. It's like, God. So anyways, there's a lot of ignorance. You got to think of all these things that are coming to the surface. When this goes, that's the purge out. It's all coming to the surface, and we got to see, like, fuck. People locking in their answers, locking in their feelings, like letting everybody know. And then that's going to switch. And then that's when they get the other look at the feelings that they're out there promoting, putting up there on the top shelf feelings. And then they're going to get a big view of them. And they're going to see the other side. And that is, that's what this whole thing is about. So you've got to be bringing up your shit. Don't focus on what other people's shit is. Focus on your own shit, because that's the shit you want to purge out. That's the stuff that you're getting out of. And that is the movement. Because when you get in the higher realms, it's all about love. You don't give a fuck about, your neighbor. Your neighbor's doing your neighbor thing. You don't waste your energy on someone else's flight plan. It's everybody's doing them. So it's just like a different kind of energy. But that is the things that we're purging out in the lower density energy, is to release that stuff. I'm telling you, there is going to be souls. Like, people are going to go up, when we start interacting with these people. Like the Galactic Federation and shit. Some of these higher vibration beings. And that people who are here who've been going through all these incarnations are going to see like they are far advanced. They're far advanced because there's so many souls who are up there in high vibration that don't come down and play these games. They don't come down and go through the experiences. And they're all about love, but they don't have all of the information. Like you are your own library. You have a lot of information. You can go in and look and see and understand things, but you got to open yourself up to that. And as long as you're focused on this 3D storyline and being really, being the perfect avatar in the game, then that's your focus. Your focus is your reality. Whatever you focus on becomes your reality. It becomes what you are doing, who you are. So it's hopefully I'm making sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. Hopefully. But let me think if there was something else. As you can hear, the rain just gets harder and harder. I don't remember what time it is. I think it's like 2:30 in the morning or something. I got up, it was like 12:44. And she's back. But you can hear the rain picking up, and it always starts getting way colder. It's weird. It's like the weather gets way worse before dawn. It's really weird. Are you all wet now? Maybe. You have to wait a minute. I have to go get a towel and dry her off. You're sopping wet. Okay, so let me just think real quick. Was there anything else I was going to say? Because I may come back and say some more stuff. I don't know. Because I feel like I'm missing stuff. I feel like I'm skipping something. Like I'm forgetting something. This isn't going to do much good. What was it? Let me think. Was there some question or something? I can't remember. But anyways, so I probably have finished saying whatever it is I need to say. But I might come back and say some more stuff later this afternoon. Oh no. I just keep being like, getting lots of calls and wanting to talk. Like and conversations are starting to like change more. Okay. So anyways, just stay on the positive, even when you're frustrated with your neighbors. And I know what it's like to be isolated. I know what it's like to feel alone. And, things are going to change. And these people are all going to get a very different view of you, I'll tell you. Because I think these people are going to be surprised when they understand, but there's going to be such a humiliation. Just like if it is true that those ladies were firing me all the time because of my light. People don't like things that make them feel bad about themselves. So anyways, just try and stay centered, everybody, on, what you got going. Try and keep remembering whatever gets brought up. That's the kind of stuff that you want to focus your energy on. Focus on healing and releasing. Like, I keep having lots of stuff come up. Like, somebody will just say something, just like, get rid of your clothes. And it's like, oh my gosh, you've never seen me. You don't even understand my relationship. Like, it's like all these things come up. And I'm not going to fight with somebody because they don't. No, that's not what it's about. It's about me realizing, just realizing, seeing things, understanding myself, understanding my role, understanding who I've been, like all these things. It's all about you getting a good look at yourself. So anyways, we'll see. We'll see how this day goes. We'll see how, but be prepared. I'm telling you, everything is going to change. This is all about, like, people think like we're trying to work towards the, who's going to be the next president. And it's like, no, dude, we're fucking about to go third tier. We're about to be fucking hanging with the Galactic Federation. I'm not fucking working about some goddamn governor. Fuck that. Anyways, I better go dry off the queen, and I will talk to y'all later.